You're looking at a boxy, borderline militaristic SUV that walks like a Wrangler, flexes like a Land Rover, and, get this, comes with dual 12.3-inch screens, massaging front seats, and a 360-degree camera for roughly the price of a well-optioned mid-range SUV in China. That's already nuts, right? But the real shock comes when you see what's inside. I'm a US car guy, and I gotta tell you, I'm low-key jealous. Stick around, because I'm gonna show you every crazy little detail that makes this thing feel like it came from the future, and then we'll ask the big question. Would you actually trust it with your family? And hey, if you love honest takes on weirdly awesome cars, smash that subscribe button. We drop the good stuff every week. First impression, the Tank 300 doesn't even try to hide what it is. This thing wears its attitude on its shoulders. Imagine a Jeep Wrangler and a Defender had a very expensive baby, then fed it a steady diet of industrial design magazines. Boxy? Oh yeah. But it's a purposeful box, with tight corners, flat glass, and vertical surfaces that scream, "I'll climb a cliff, then sit in a cafe." Up front, you've got round halo-style LED headlights that give it a retro, almost military aura, but the daytime running rings keep it modern. The grille is big and bold, with horizontal chrome slats that look like armor, and a convex skid plate sits under the bumper to add that rugged, Instagram-ready vibe. Move to the sides, and the silhouette screams capability. Short overhangs, long wheelbase, big, unapologetic wheel arches wrapped in black cladding that basically say, I don't care if I get mud on me. And yet the paint choices? Matte oranges, military greens, gloss blacks. It's influencer ready. It's like wearing a tuxedo with combat boots. The rear keeps the story going. Full-size spare on the tailgate, vertical taillights echoing the front, and chunky hinges that show off honest metalwork. The whole tailgate folds flat so you can sit on it like you're in a music video. Compared to Western SUVs, this thing has swagger. BMW does sleek curves, Toyota plays it conservative. The Tank 300 is pure Wrangler Defender energy, but cleaned up for the showroom floor. It feels aspirational without being fragile. Hood sculpting lines catch the light like cheekbones, tow hooks gleam like piercings, and the stance, high and proud, lets you know there's real ground clearance under there. The whole vibe is like a muscle car met a utility knife. This is a design that works on two levels, envy in the city crowd and practicality for the weekend warrior. Honestly, I half expect it to grow a beard and start a podcast. But hold on, because when you step inside, the disbelief hits even harder. Slide in and you're greeted by a sweeping dash with a pair of curved digital screens stitched into one continuous panel, a 12.3-inch driver display, and a 12.3-inch infotainment screen. It feels like a cockpit straight out of a Mercedes or BMW, but in a truck that costs way less. The screens are sharp, responsive, and support wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The vents are turbine-style, straight out of an Audi playbook, and they're tactile. You'll want to spin them just because they click so satisfyingly. Then there's the center console, a chunky aviation-style gear lever surrounded by toggles and dials for drive modes. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels like someone thought, hey, let's make driving this thing fun. The seats, faux nappa leather with diamond stitching, heating, cooling, and, I'm not making this up, massage functions. Yeah, massage seats in a so-called budget SUV. The Tank 300 even has a 360-degree camera that stitches together a bird's eye view, off-road modes for mud, sand, and snow, and even a tank turn feature that pivots the car tightly. The cabin has a panoramic moonroof option that floods it with light, ambient lighting that wraps around the dash and doors, a wireless charging pad, deep storage bins, USB-C ports in the back, and an audio system that doesn't rattle even when you crank it. The small stuff sells it too. Metal-feeling switches, LED puddle lamps, wide rear doors for easy kid seat access, and you're getting driver aids like lane keep assist, adaptive cruise, blind spot monitoring, and collision mitigation baked right in. For the money, you're sitting in a cabin that gives you digital luxury, off-road credibility, and actual comfort. That's the trick here. It looks like luxury, acts like capability, and costs like value. And hey, if you're loving this breakdown so far, drop a like. It helps more folks find Drag and Drive. And tag a friend who geeks out over SUVs. They'll freak when they see this interior. Now, practicality check. The Tank 300 is a proper 5-seater with around 400 liters of cargo space behind the rear seats, and if you fold them flat, you're looking at over 1,600 liters. Translation? Family trips, camping gear, strollers, no problem. It's roughly the length of a Toyota RAV4, but taller, with more ground clearance and a straighter roofline, which makes it feel roomy inside. Against something like a CR-V, it's a bit firmer over bumps because it's built tough for trails, but the trade-off is you can actually take this SUV to a forest trail or desert track without sweating it. Families who want adventure weekends are gonna vibe with this. And under the hood, you've got options. Most versions get a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, pumping out around 220 horsepower and 380 newton-meters of torque, paired with an 8-speed automatic. There's also a diesel in some markets, a 2.4-liter with monster torque for towing, and then there are plug-in hybrid variants with serious combined power and better fuel economy. Depending on where you are, you can go petrol, diesel, or hybrid, and each setup is tuned for either daily driving, heavy hauling, or eco-friendly commuting. It's not a one-size-fits-all. GWM clearly wanted a Tank 300 for every kind of buyer. All right, let's talk money, because this is where jaws hit the floor. In China, the Tank 300 sells for roughly 199,800 to 302,800 yuan. That's about 28 to 42 grand in USD. Let that sink in. You're getting dual 12-inch screens, massage seats, 360 cams, and real off-road gear for less than what some Americans are paying for a loaded Honda Passport or mid-trim Wrangler. Honestly, it feels unfair. This is where my envy kicks in hard. And safety? On paper, it's got the tech. Adaptive cruise, lane keep, auto emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, multiple airbags, a stiff chassis, hill descent control, locking diffs, the works. That's modern peace of mind. But here's the caveat. Independent crash ratings vary depending on the region, and the US hasn't exactly rolled out the red carpet for this thing yet. In some places, it's tested and holds up fine. In others, the data isn't out yet. That's where trust becomes a question mark. And here's the controversy. Would you really trust a brand new Chinese SUV with your family's safety long term? Will the reliability hold up? Will resale value tank if the brand doesn't get a strong foothold in Western markets? And what about service networks? Are you cool waiting 3 weeks for a part? These are the catches that make buyers hesitate. So tell me, would you go with old school trust in a Jeep or Toyota? Or would you roll the dice on a shiny Tank 300 that out-features them all? That's the debate I want to see explode in the comments. Wrapping up, the Tank 300 is the SUV that makes you double take. It's brash, it's clever, and it delivers more value than seems fair. Luxury touches, real off-road chops, and a cabin full of screens for a price that makes Western SUVs blush. Is it the future family car or the future flop? That's up to you. Drop your thoughts below. Are you team future family car or team future flop? If you loved this breakdown, hit like, subscribe for more deep dives, and tell me the one feature you'd brag about at your next barbecue. Next time on Drag and Drive, we're tearing into another Chinese surprise that'll blow your mind. I'll be real with you. I'm a US car lover, and I'm jealous, straight up. These cars are pushing the industry forward faster than anyone expected. Until next time, this is Drag and Drive. Drive curious.